Charles Blondin, also known as the Daredevil of Niagara Falls, crossed the Niagara Falls on nothing but a rope about 300 times throughout his life, going over 10,000 miles total just on a rope over the Niagara Falls. There's a story about him that says he stood before the crowd one day and said to them, "Do you believe that I can cross the Niagara Falls?" Everybody shouts, "Yes." He asked the crowd, "Do you think I could do some amazing things while I cross the rope on the Niagara Falls?" And they said yes. They had heard about his stories of carrying a stick as he walked across. They've heard about his stories about blindfolding himself while he went across the Niagara Falls. They've even heard about this story where he went and on the middle of the rope decided to make himself food. I'm not joking at all. Go look him up. On this particular day, the crowd was fully behind him. They believed that he could cross the rope another time. Then he looked at the crowd, the story goes, pulls out a wheelbarrow, and he says, "Who wants to get in and have me take them across the Niagara Falls?" Nobody moved. Trust, or as we often call it, faith, is a significant component to our relationship with God. And this has been true from the very beginning. And we see this idea of trust in God in a number of ways in Joshua's story. Israel has to trust in God's promise that the land they're going into belongs to them. They have to trust his process in taking down the nations that exist there and giving that land over to Israel. They have to trust that he is going to provide for them at every step. Rahab has to trust the spies when they tell her how she can survive the Battle of Jericho. At the end of Joshua's story, the people of Israel are shown to have to trust that God is going to preserve them and take care of them and not turn back on them as they go and live faithfully in the promised land. Trust is everywhere throughout the story. God has given each and every single one of us something to do. He's entrusted us with certain abilities or talents or tasks, and he expects us to trust him in return, trust his path, and know that he will bring us success. In our Charles Blondin story a moment ago, he asked the crowd, "Who will get in the wheelbarrow with me and let me carry them across the Niagara Falls?" Nobody moved. That is, until his manager said, "I'll get in." And Charles successfully carried his manager in the wheelbarrow across the Niagara Falls from one side to the other. The question for us is, do we trust God enough to follow in his path and let him carry us to success?